touch on that today, but our real work exists in our music, our performance, and the work that we do with our youth. So we'll do a quick intro.
I am Truth, and this is Clever of Mother Nature, of course. We originally came together, met at the University of Illinois in like 2015. A few years before that, but 2015 is when we kind of established Mother Nature. 10 years, congratulations, okay? Man, appreciate it. So we were doing our own thing individually. I was in a collective at the time, she was in a collective, and we just continued to run into each other on the activism tip, on the educational side. If y'all don't know, I know a few of y'all do know, we came together through another educator, Dr. Ruth Nicole Brown of U of I at the time. And she was really analyzing the music that we individually did, and it kind of opened our minds to the educational side of what our music meant and the depth in which we could really transform and the ways in which hip hop had really influenced who we are and what we do. So from there, we created a project called Mother Nature. That was the first thing that we actually did when it came to us kind of sharing the stage. We had an opportunity to open up and run the Jewels together as individuals, and we decided to make a project called Mother Nature. It kind of went up, and again at U of I on the campus of Urbana-Champaign. And then from there, we became Mother Nature, came back up to Chicago, and just started to run things as much as we can, building up from the ground up. And now we are currently in Houston, Texas, and continuing to do the work that we love, educating as well as making sure that the music replicates what we are as individuals and the message that we want to serve.
And I'll just piggyback off of that and say that we both come from interesting backgrounds, and that is why we are as hip-hop as we are. And I think that it's a beautiful thing for us to be together 10 years, because when we think about hip-hop, when we think about sisterhood and hip-hop, sometimes groups don't last, sometimes people don't stick together. And I think that the reason why Truth and I have been together as strong as we are, live together, breathe together, do everything together, is because we're so grounded in our purpose and the spirituality that is in hip hop, and just our commitment to the cipher and our commitment to our community. So those values reign very strong in Mother Nature, and you guys will get a taste of that for sure.
Most definitely. As you guys can see up here, we just have a few different highlights of who we are: MCs, educators, healers, global artists. Shout out to our Next Level fam that's in the building. Again, established in 2015. Our nonprofit is our wellness practice that we do with youth as well as educators alike. So right now we have a full-length school year residency back in Texas, where we are being able to teach 8th graders full-time and do it under our own curriculum, which is the
Miseducation of Hip Hop. Yes.
When it comes to the miseducation of hip hop, it is allowing us to really tap into what the true culture and nature of hip hop is. So with us being 90s babies and tapping in with ourselves, learning who we are, tapping into God, really creating community through the lens of hip hop, it really showed us the power that truly lies in the culture and the foundation of what hip hop is. So what we do with our kids is really tap into that alongside making sure they know their own genius. Hip hop has shown us that in more ways than one. It continues to show us who we are, what we can do, and what we can build. So in our classrooms, in our workshops, in our ciphers, we make sure that our kids know the genius that they already hold inside. And just as with hip hop, we know that it does not take a lot to build these big ideas and create these dreams for ourselves. So with our kids, knowing who they are, what they're about, what they are naturally interested in and are already amazing at, we kind of bring that out of them, get them out of their comfort zone a little bit, tap into entrepreneurship, tap into social emotional learning, and really life skills when it comes to it at the end of the day, and just allow them to continue to create and know that whatever dream, whatever obstacle, whatever thing that may be a hindrance to that dream or that goal, It's just a building block for them to get to where they need to go. So that hip hop mindset is what is the foundation of our wellness program, which is the Miseducation of Hip Hop. Mic check, mic check. So,
when I say mic check, can y'all say mic check, mic check?
Mic check.
Mic check?
Mic check.
all right. So y'all in class with us right now, all right? So this is how it go. Every top of the class, we got the vibes playing in the background, and before we get into the lesson of the day, we do a mic check. So that's just to check the temperature of the room, see who we have, see what the vibe is. So today's mic check is if you could design your own version of heaven, what would it look, sound, and feel like? Now this is open discussion. So it ain't too many of us, so if y'all do have an answer, feel free to just let us know what would your heaven look, feel, sound like. You ain't gotta answer all three of those, but if you do have a description, let us know.
Whoever is the bravest.
Right, the bravest in the space, please.
Streets would be rivers we could walk on, float.
Say it one more time.
Streets would be rivers we could walk on or float.
Streets will be rivers we can walk on. I
Yeah,
see
should
that.
we get carried and held, nourished, and be of use since we made it so much water.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
That part.
Any other versions of heaven that we have out here today? Good food, no chemicals, yes. No GMOs, homegrown, soil was good, I rock with that, 100%. Any other versions of heaven that we're seeing out here? I feel like y'all got some answers, y'all don't want to talk. It's cool, y'all, we family.
We do this with the kids every day. Every day.
It would be like Earth, but with none of the bad things.
Mm,
All the
okay.
beauty that's here, but none of the bad things.
Earth without none of the bad things. Love it, I love it.
I often imagine cities, you kind of see them sometimes when things become abandoned and the nature overgrows everything, but then like the graffiti and all, I really imagine a world like that would be my world.
Yes. I think my heaven, similar to what Sis said, but it would allow us to be one with the natural, be one with the animals, be one with ourselves without us having to build things that kind of cut off the environment of the plant life, the animal life, and things like that. So I think that would be one of my versions of heaven.
I think we're gonna keep spitfire. I think another version of heaven for me is allowing our youth to really express and explore themselves. Again, like you said, they're geniuses. They're already in tech. They're already coding. They're already aware of what's happening at home and how they might have to break free from it. And so I think I imagine a world where adults treat children with more respect, with more reverence, and really, really push them to be free and be who they are.
And I would say too, I think we deal with that now a lot because once we get to be adults, I think that we kind of forget that we were children, or we had a childhood that was stifled and our creativity was kind of put on the back burner. So I would say that having space for everyone to be able to create whatever it is that they want to do. You might have grew up loving music and going through the CD covers and reading lyrics and stuff like that, and now, or as you grew up, people told you that there's no value in that, or that nobody's going to care about that. You can't live your life like that. So I would want a heaven in a world that allow for everybody, whatever your greatest joy is, for you to be able to express it in its full form.
I want to flip this mic check real quick just to see if we can get a couple more responses. What would you like to hear in your heaven? Is there any hip hop you would like to hear in your heaven? Do we have any favorite hip hop records of all time? The Look of Love, Song Village. All right. Any more? Black Star, let's go.
Jungle Brothers, Black Woman.
Okay. I'm gonna put these on our playlist. Thank y'all. All right.
So we are here today. I know like the program said one thing, but as in true hip hop fashion, we gotta remix, flip it, do all that. So as you guys know, we have done international travel, and we've done it through Next Level specifically. as well as independently as well. And we've learned a lot in our experience with that. And it kind of showed us that through the years, we know we were cipher building. So us being able to commune and come together as individuals, artists, educators, mentors, all of those different things. And now we're in this phase, not even a phase, but we've elevated the cipher building in a sense. So we've coined this phrase, heaven building. Because for us, yes, it starts with us knowing the people that we are connecting with. Are we on the same wave? Can we help one another? Can we have these bigger goals that allows for everybody to have a place and to make sure these things become something completed and accomplished? But when we think about heaven building specifically, it put us in a state of imagination. It tapped into our creativity, and it showed us beyond the cipher itself, there's another level. So the heaven building aspect, and let me go back because we just wrote this definition. So the process of realizing that heaven is not reserved for the dead, but a state of peace, joy, and freedom that we can cultivate in our daily lives. So all in all, heaven building is a practice of creating your desired reality through self and cipher. So it's a little mouthful, but for us, the bottom line of it is we know that we've thought of heaven, or we've been given this definition of heaven as this place that you have to perish before you actually see it. But nobody comes back and tell you what it feel like, what it look like, or any of that. So in our minds, being that hip hop has saved our lives, hip hop has shown us a new version of the reality that we currently have. We know that in this same lens that we can create heaven right now in the now without it being something that we have to die in order to achieve. So with us, what we're going to be doing today is kind of deep diving into this concept and really figuring out for ourselves, what are we realizing within ourselves? What do we actually want when it comes to this heavenly space? And can we achieve it here and now? And are we willing to do what it takes to actually create it? All right, we rocking? We rocking? We feeling? We feeling? All right, bet.
And I feel like y'all are already heaven building in so many ways in the work that you already do. Sometimes it's not framed that way, but it's your soul work. It's the work that does allow you to cultivate that peace and joy, that does allow you to include others. And you plant seeds that you might not grow for another 2-3 years. You never know, but that's the beauty of it. And as they said this morning, these spaces are impactful because you're seeing the culture shift, and you're seeing youth becoming even more engaged in these type of ideas. So I just want to, add that you guys are already heaven building. Being here in this space right now is heaven building. What is a cipher?
All right, so we hip hop, we vibe. Can anybody tell me what a cipher is?
There's working definitions.
Working definitions. What is your idea of a cipher?
Like circles, slapping,
Yeah.
just chanting everyone,
Yeah.
freestyling and all that, battling, rapping, breakdancing.
Come on, you get all of it, okay?
I just want to add to that conjuring.
Yeah, conjuring. Ooh, come on, words, yeah, love it.
Very energetic.
Come on, energy. Come on, Gary.
My understanding of cipher goes back to the nation of the gods and herbs. Okay. When the gods used to rock in a circle, and they come together and they start talking about the knowledge of the day. So what's today? Today is the 22nd, right? So I'm not God body, but for those who are, they will talk about there'll be wisdom, or being born to freedom, freedom, justice, knowledge, culture, freedom, all being born to culture, freedom. Today is the 22nd.
Oh, break it down. All right, all those are amazing definitions for what a cipher is, and all of them are correct. When we utilize the cipher in our classrooms, in our workshops, we literally showcase the point of the cipher, yes, it's paramount in hip hop, but it's also a way of life. It's also a way of building community. So when we think about a cipher, you have to know who you are to enter into this space. You have to be brave enough to be able to assist with whatever is going on in this cipher. And the thing about the main part of the cipher that we always emphasize is the fact that if we in a cipher, we rocking, whether we MCing, freestyling, dancing, if we eating at a table, if we chilling, we praying together, what are you adding to that cipher? If I'm going da-da-da-da-da, and you see I'm slipping,
Yada, yada, yada,
you know what I'm
yada.
saying? So it has to be a back and forth and a give and take when it comes to the cipher. So you can't just come to the cipher and take and leave. That's not a true cipher. Like you're siphoning the cipher at that point, and that's not cool. So what we always emphasize with our students is making sure that know yourself, be brave enough, be confident enough to get into that space and know what you are going to add to that space. If you see the cipher, if the energy is dropping, how are we bringing that energy back up? How are we maintaining the frequency of that cipher? Because the cool thing about a cipher is too, the energy is infinite. There's always another level that the cipher can be in, but it requires the individuals to make sure that they're adding as much as they can to that cipher and are willing to add to that cipher. Make sense? Bet.
1 second, y'all not on the internet. 1 second.
All good. In true hip hop fashion, things go wrong. And the cool thing about it is a real MC gonna make sure that the audience don't even see the difference in that. So for those that have like entered a workspace or sat down at a lunch table or anything like that, have you ever entered a space and it just felt stale? It felt weird, or like the energy was off or anything like that? And then all of a sudden maybe one person comes in or like asks a question or cracks a joke or does something to uplift the energy. Then everybody in that cipher now is feeling some type of added joy because somebody decided this ain't feeling right. This ain't feeling good to me. And it's not anything that is wrong per se. It's just the fact that nobody is willing to add to that cipher, to that energy. So as soon as somebody goes in, says something, asks anything, cracks a joke, now their energy and their frequency has raised. So now the person that might be shy in the room may feel more confident in being themselves. Now the person that did have something on their mind does feel a little bit more confident in speaking their mind. So when you guys are entering spaces, classrooms, your family, your friend group, or anything like that, remember the power of the cipher. If you know who you are and you are willing to add more than what is already being presented in that space, I guarantee you that the energy is going to be 100 times better than if you didn't. And this is the amazing Tony Blackman is giving her definition that we frequently use in the classroom when it comes to what a cipher is.
First video is to break down what is a cipher. See, a cipher represents 360 degrees. It's about completion of thought, giving and exchanging energy, information, and ideas. The cipher is the circle. Whenever you see a group of artists gathering, whether it be dancers, MCs, poets, sharing in a circle or semicircle formation, or some little cluster, and they're all, they're having a cipher. You can't have a cipher with just two people. You need at least three. Most ciphers have more. And it's because of the energy that's exchanged when you have a collective experience that is happening. See, the godfather of hip hop, Africa Bambaataa, and legendary dancer and DJ, Pop Master Fable, they both have noted when I've heard them speak, they both have said that people have been ciphering for centuries. People dance in ciphers, we eat in ciphers, we pray in circles, we drummed in circles, we rapped in circles. And so it's as ancient as mankind. The cipher represents not only hip hop, but it represents our humanity.
Shout out to Tony Blackman, always a wealth of knowledge, most definitely, most definitely. And I think the only thing that we always kind of add to / challenge what her definition for what a cipher is the fact that it has to be like more than two people. Because I feel like when me and sis together, or I'm with my brother or a friend or any space or any group, any amount of people, if the energy is well balanced and we both add into the space, if you're having a good conversation with somebody, I think that's still a cipher because the energy is still being exchanged, the energy is still rising, and I think that it allows still for the momentum of it to continue to grow instead of it kind of decreasing because somebody's not giving as much as the other.
I'm a firm believer that God exists between us. So anytime you need a third, it's right there. We're gonna play a visual from our miseducation workshops, just so you guys can get a sense of what our cipher looks like with students. Man, there's no limitation to what we can do in the classroom. We've worked with very large classrooms, like 50 students. We've worked very intimately, just 10 students. But we're always somewhere in between, and every experience is different with the group of kids. You have some kids that are super brave and that are great at leading, and you have kids who's like really, really afraid to rap and express themselves. So that's the magic of being in class with each other, is we get to see the seed be planted, to see the encouragement and the confidence that comes from them trying something new and being supported by their community, all the way to like full blossom, where we get to see them act in their full genius. So this right here is one of many ciphers that we've done.
What we do here in the end of the cycle is what we teach them. Once y'all get outside these walls, when y'all see somebody that's struggling, that needs help, y'all help. You pick up that ball, make sure that rhythm don't fall. You feel me?
The great thinker. Think about what you have to give to your collective. What would you tell somebody? Something that they don't know that can help them, that can make them feel better about their day, better about their situation, to help them relax, to help them create something new that they never done. The great thinker. Knowledge, and allow nothing to stand in my way. Hip hop is my culture. Hip hop is my culture. We have fun. Spread peace. Love. And knowledge. I am a genius. You are a genius. We are genius. The great thinker. As y'all can see, man, we've worked from little kids, elementary school, ciphering with them, learning how to count bars with them. Go ahead, play that one. The great thinker. Came back from that. And I got and love myself. That's the best part of it. Hey, loving myself, that's the best part of me. Hey.
how to make hip hop. But now I'm looking at the casket like my cousin just to stop. I seen him in the bed, yeah, I was acting crazy. And I was thinking, man, you 17 finna have a baby, but you grown now. Yeah, this feeling kind of wrong now. And I was thinking, damn, I gotta go be strong now.
The great thinkers.
So, while we in Cypher with our students, again, you kind of see us in our most authentic vibe, our videos that we took and put together. But man, you just get so much information and so much knowledge of our students when we're in these spaces. And a lot of times, within our classroom, we find that these students don't have anywhere else to express this energy. They get in trouble if they do it in school. Home life is home life, you know, it can be a variety of things. And I'm just grateful for hip hop, because without hip hop, some of these kids could fall into addiction or fall into, you know, just not really being themselves and not seeing themselves and kind of reaffirming how other people see them. And so, man, all I can say is hip hop saves lives. Cypher saves lives, and you don't know until you know and until you experience yourself. So,
1000% on that. And next up, we just want to dive a little bit deeper about why it is so important to be heaven building in the spaces that you frequent in your classrooms, with your students, with your loved ones, because it really allows us to reclaim our power. It really shows us, let me not continue to speak ill of myself or my situations. Let me not be okay with this is just the way that it is and I have to just deal with it. So when we talk about heaven building, it literally causes you to stand firm on what you truly want. Because when we talk about heaven, we're talking about the most top shelf level of whatever your world could be. So if we start to decrease our thinking when it comes to what it could be, now we are just stuck in what is. And we know we have the ability to create our own worlds, our own situations, to change our situations. So the heaven building aspect is the most realist way for us to be able to do this work. And then it's a tool for our liberation. So in times that we've been in these spaces, whether it is with our students or just with homies and things like that, we can start to see, all right, is this truly how you see yourself and see your life? And if so, do you believe that you have the ability to change it? So when it comes to really understanding how we can make this a thing, first it always starts with the mind. So if you do not believe that you have the ability, then we can't move any further. But once we can start to crack through that exterior and start getting to the real root of why you may feel like that, then we start to lay ground and foundation on how we can start building this next level for ourselves. Building collective healing, challenging the oppressive systems and things like that. When we only hold ourselves in the corner and deal with our own traumas and our issues, and we only have so much that we can give to ourselves, that we can read and take on, and we don't ever ask for help outside of ourselves, then it becomes a hindrance to how we're trying to build and how we're trying to grow. So heaven building, all right, I know in my heaven, I need community. I need a cipher. I need to know there's other people that got my back. Because sometimes in this current system, this current world that we have, and we talk about oppressive systems, we start to hold on to these limiting beliefs. We start to really, truly have no faith in the ability to do for ourselves, help each other out, believe that the next person has your best state or idea in mind, and now we just want to be kind of in our own little world instead of really understanding, like, in order for us to feel and be and truly grow the way that we need to, we need each other. So if your heaven building is only for yourself, it can become limiting, and then it becomes a thing of you only are going to get so far with that grander vision. And now we understand that in order for it to be as grand as it could be, we need one another, and we need to always continue to understand that what I want for myself and what you want for yourself, we can combine these ideas and make something even more grander.
So on this slide here, we have our heaven building methodology. And wherever you are in your heaven building space, we also have some practices that align with that. That practices that we do with our students, but also things that we would love to share with you. So, reclaiming the narrative. Heaven is not a distant place. It is a state of being that we can create through our thoughts, our words, and our actions. That leads us to using affirmations, to journaling, for freestyling, to really reframe our mindset. As she said, everything starts in the mind. From there, we speak heaven into existence. Y'all know all about this. Words have power. What we speak, write, and create helps to shape our reality. I can't tell you how many times I have probably been unconscious about speaking my reality into existence, but it happens. You say things, sometimes you don't mean it, sometimes you really do, but if you pay attention enough, you'll see that often your environment or what comes your way is a direct result of what you've already said. So our practice in this sense, creating mantras. That's our music, that's our sounds, these are the things that we say to each other all the time. Peace and love. Rhymes that affirm our joy, abundance, and possibility. I know both Sis and I have often written from darker spaces, from being in trauma and from like trying to figure things out in our world and our minds. So sometimes it's kind of hard to just write a song with joy and abundance and peace. It's like, where's the stuff at that I used to cook with? So that's a new challenge for us. It's something that we've been doing well in. But it's just speaking life into our music, especially hip hop music. And there's so much positive hip hop music in the world. But there's also a lot of things that when we listen to them, we need to realize like we're speaking these words to ourselves. So let's choose words of power. Building the cipher. Heaven building is not just an individual journey. It's about co-creating spaces, love, equity, liberation, just as we've been speaking on. So this is creating intentional spaces, collaborating, healing, open mics, dinner tables, ciphers, wherever you can take a moment, even with your friend group, to chop it up and break it down and reaffirm why y'all love each other, why y'all rock with each other, what are our values, what is our purpose. I guarantee you that your cipher is going to be stronger. Rhymes to reality. This kind of goes back to, speaking our heaven into existence. Transformation happens when we bridge creativity with action. All right? Identify one concrete action you can take to build your personal or collective heaven, whether that be mentorship, event organizing, advocacy, speaking on a panel, writing a book. But that's up to you to decide. But how do you build a bridge between the creative world, what's going on in your mindset, and sharing it with other people that need it? And last but not least, hip-hop as a sacred practice. Hip-hop as a sacred practice. Heaven building is a spiritual act, nothing less. It's about aligning with divine purpose, joy, and creative flow. So in this, we create rituals of gratitude and intention setting before performances or creative work. Coming here, we set these intentions. Coming here, we made sure that we're full of gratitude, that we are intentional about who we speak to, what we talk about, how we want to build heaven with y'all. So just want to give you guys some methods to your own heaven building process. And it's about that time.
So this part of the workshop does require some brave participants. Ideally, we would love 10 to 12 of y'all to step on up on stage with us if you are inclined to. We ain't gonna make you do nothing crazy, I promise. But again, this is about us continuing to build on what it is to be in communion with one another, to continue to expand what it is that the energy is already in the space. So, if you feel inclined, we can't move on until somebody hits the stage, so we're gonna wait on y'all real quick. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
Encouraging. Bring out like
Just be brave, guys. Be brave. No words. Slide on through. Okay, so first step, well, because we have an audience, we're gonna do a half cipher so everybody can still see. So we can just bring it in a little closer, bring it in a little closer. We just gonna do like a little half moon right here, a little half moon. All right, bet. All right. Okay. So I was gonna start them off with something simple, with like a sound cipher. Sound cipher first, okay? I'm gonna put this down. I'm sure y'all can still hear me. All right, y'all can still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so for our sound cipher, let's say turn off the sound, music, whatever. This is how we rock. So our sound cipher, this is what anybody can do. This is also something that you guys can use in class if y'all working with younger students, older students, whatever. We've done this with a myriad of different age groups. So the sound cipher is this. Again, cipher is about contributing to the space, all right? So we'll start off with a sound. All you have to do is add a sound to the cipher. You can stomp your feet, you can clap your hands, you can snap your fingers, you can throw an ad-lib out there, whatever you feel. All you have to do is add a sound to the cipher. We ain't gotta be on beat for the person, okay? We just gonna add a sound, and everybody just gonna add to the space. Alright? Make sense? Okay, anybody nervous? Anybody scared? Okay, cool. Cause the fear gonna dissipate, alright? I started off, let's see what my sound gonna be.
Okay.
But y'all see how we just came up here, everybody like, man, I don't know, I'm a little scared, I'm a little nervous. How y'all feel now? Feel a little bit better? Alright, bet. So this is how we kind of break the ice when it comes to the cipher, alright? So we start with like something simple that everybody can do. Everybody can make a noise, make a sound, cool. You got a beat for me?
I didn't want to interrupt you, I'm just trying to see if it.
I was trying to see what round I'm on.
Let's see.
That's smooth? Okay. So this one, it does require the vocals, okay? We ain't gonna ask y'all to freestyle rap, okay? All we are going to do is answer a question, okay? If you want to rhyme, feel free, but the only thing that we ask is when you answer your question, do it to the rhythm of the beat, okay? You ain't gotta rhyme necessarily, alright? So my question, you got a question? What's a simple but slightly deep question? It's a question for everybody. They gonna answer it. What makes you smile? Okay? Okay? So think on it, marinate for a second. Alright? Alright. What makes you smile?
New shoes make you smile. Sun in school make you smile. Sunshine makes you smile. Green grass makes you smile. Leaves on the tree. Following that breeze.
What made you smile? What made you smile? Hey, hey, what made you smile? What made you smile? Hey,
My kids drive make me smile. Being alive make me smile. With my kids make me smile. Paying bills make me smile. Hey, make me smile. Sunshine make me smile. Make me smile. Make me smile.
Small crowds make you smile. Hey, big crowds make you smile. Hey, big smiles make you smile. Hey, smiles make you smile.
whole lot of money make me smile. Whole lot of game make me smile. Whole lot of love make me smile. Whole lot of sunshine makes me smile. What about you? Tell me what makes you smile. Tell me what makes you smile. Tell me what makes you smile.
All right.
Alright. So again, the more that we practice the cycle, so this is like an active, like we are in this space, we're adding to the energy, and we making sure, even with the last round, if somebody like struggled or didn't have a word, everybody else just hop in. So we want to make sure we in the cycle. If I'm slipping, you got a word for me, or you got a word, or you got a word. We got to chant or something so we don't drop the energy. Okay? You ain't gotta say nothing makes sense. We just make sure that the energy stay up. Yeah, that's it. Alright? Alright, so this one. Tell me what's your favorite. Tell me why you love hip hop. Okay? Tell me why you love hip hop.
I love hip hop for the wisdom.
Yeah.
I love hip hop for the words. I love hip hop for the nature. The flowers, the bees, and the birds. I love hip hop for the curves. I'm talking cycle. I'm talking my life in a roller coaster when we go in it.
I love hip hop. I love hip hop. I love hip hop. What's your favorite part of hip hop? Why you love hip hop? We need to know. Tell me more. I say I love hip hop. I say I love hip hop.
Oh, grab this microphone, it's time that I never fold. Here, freestyling for a bit. Before I come back to the little bit. Brothers represent the flex of days, flex like red back, kids and get charged like flex. To this, I break it down to the nucleus. Thinking my wits, my style still flips. To make hits, the new hits I represent. Taking this show like life did in a sense. With the slice like a match. I love the drum, I love the bomb hats. With the light fast, my tongue is sight. Take my advice, little streets like bites. The hooks and captain, hops like the whole song. So long, don't need the protocol. Then tracks the bell to a trap. Keeping you white, like the phone tap. Like Nam, drops the H bomb. You yours, sick, drop the bomb.
Man, make some noise.
came in and dropped a 16 on them.
Man, thank y'all. Man, again, y'all, this is just a microcosm of what a cycle could look like, the effect it can take. We had these people that might not have known each other, we might not have known them. We can all come into space and figure out what are we adding, what can we bring, how can we make this more enjoyable, more loving, more happiness in the space. And it's just about being willing to let go. I think that's the real foundation of it all. If you know that you are having no limitations, no barriers to who you are, and you're entering into a space, and now if this person here is somebody that I don't know, I'm free to walk up to you and have a conversation. How are you? What do you need? What's going on? Like, it can become a deeper thing than just the kind of bare minimum conversations and interactions that we have with each other, kind of, you know, on a more regular basis than we probably would like to admit. But if we start thinking more on heaven building, I want to be able to be confident enough to be in my skin and in my vessel enough and willing enough that I can walk up to anybody and show love and connect and build and really understand them at their core. Man, we can be living in our heaven right now, you know? So,
And heaven building is not about waiting for change, it is about creating it. We have always been a blueprint for transformation, a tool for turning struggle into power, in a space where we can imagine and manifest new realities. If y'all believe that, make some noise.
All right.
By shifting our mindset, speaking our truth, and building together, we don't just dream of freedom, we live it. The mic is in our hands and the cipher is open. How did you build your heaven today? We do have a question Q&A section. We also have a Q&A up here at the front. So, you know, if y'all aren't in a rush to go to the next space, please fill this out. This is also for us to be able to keep track of people that want to build heaven with us. If you want to build heaven with us, come fill this out. And we also have some more information as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, please let us know. Y'all can build with us more. We have some pamphlets on the table about the miseducation of hip hop in particular. If you're interested in having any programming like this or doing cycles with your students and stuff, we are always willing to travel and make things happen. So yeah, I'll leave it to y'all if y'all have any questions. How do we get started? Well, I really think that Sis and I started in mentorship and activism separately. So people would call on us to be a voice for the people, be a voice for the community whenever anything was going on, any crisis, especially at that time.
Dealing with a lot of police brutality.
Yeah.
We were still on campus at the time at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. There was a lot of issues going on in the world, like Brown, all of the stuff going on. And our music kind of spoke to that already as being real. And we wanted to create a space for the youth specifically to have their moment to kind of say what they're feeling, what they're going through. And we then were holding these workshops. We became a part of Black Lives Matter at the time. And then from there, we created our actual program, which is the Miseducation of Hip Hop. It's before it's like the Mother Nature thing even happened for real. And yeah, it was just always making sure that we provided space for our youth to be able to speak and voice how they were feeling. And then from there, we just, made it official, and then we've been going hard ever since.
And we both know the impact of having mentors, whether it be, Black women or people in hip hop. And that's something that we also wanted to provide for our little ones. We both got little brothers and stuff, so it's important. It's definitely beyond rap, and it's some humanity, I guess that's how we express our humanity. Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious to know about your international travel. Did that support at all the Miseducation of Hip Hop, this program that you have? And if so, can you speak to that?
Oh, yes. So I think for us to be able to travel and be ourselves and MCs and educate and to know we have something to offer outside of like what we know here, it was like mind
It
blowing.
opened our mind, like, what? For real?
So it really showed us like not only is this what we are supposed to be doing, but we can expand it even more. So even though like we've been doing this for as long as we have, we're still expanding and growing on what it is that we do, because we do want to bring our kids that have not left their neighborhood or their city, bringing them to these different places that we've been able to tap into, because it's the same spaces in these other areas that they haven't left their area, but they're building this community through hip hop. So we want to show them, yeah, this is the music that you love, but it also can be your tool and your vehicle to move you around spaces that you never even imagined. So it definitely just calls us to look at what we look at as programming, turn it into a practice, and continue to build on that with our kids and our youth.
Yeah, and I'll add that, man, if anyone knows about the Next Level program, that is how we were able to travel. She's done 2 tours. I did one in Morocco. She was in Azerbaijan and in Ireland. And I don't know about your experience in particular, but I know when I went to Morocco, they didn't speak English, so I had a translator the whole time. So that blew my mind. It's like, we are ciphering, and I don't know what y'all saying, but I feel what y'all saying. So like, that was really incredible. It really taught me a lot about communication, and that you don't gotta speak the same language. We could still speak the same language without having to really say the same language at all. So we did those trips separately, so it wasn't necessarily like our curriculum as the miseducation, but I know both of us used those same methodologies where we were at and adjusted to how we needed to. And it's something that we want to continue to do. We trying to figure out when's the next time we can get back out. I want to speak to this, it's a, Black hip hop feminism. When we went out the country, we went to Germany a couple years ago, and it's just God's work. We had one opportunity to go out there and do something, and we ended up landing on 3 Black women's tours in Germany. Jamila Woods, Adia Victoria, and Oshun. And all within, it was like boom, boom, boom. And it just went perfectly with our schedule. It literally, I was like, this is God.
Mind you, this is like during COVID times and all of that. Didn't know how this was actually going to be, like, make this a thing. Ended up making it a thing, and it just so happened that all of these relationships that we built over the years just happened to culminate at the same time. Or you're on tour around the same time. Oh, y'all gonna be here. Oh, and you too. And it was just a phone call, an email. It's like, oh, can we yada yada yada? Boom. Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
And we got to see our homegirls get celebrated. And people know all their words and lyrics in a whole nother country. It was really like, wow, like we out here. We out here. Hip-hop's outside. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes.
So I know that hip hop is healing, and y'all focus is mainly on the healing attributes of hip hop. But I want to know your thoughts on hip hop as an industry, because I feel like there's always balance, positive, there's negative. So what are your thoughts surrounding hip hop industry, not hip hop as in the spirit of hip hop, but like how it's in the industry, how it's sold back to us?
I feel like we hold that line like carefully when it comes to being practitioners, healers, and also like we are aspiring to be like full-time artists, getting paid for it. Like this is what we do every day. And we also work with a all-woman management team that kind of keeps us grounded and rooted in what we do. So I think the way in which the industry looks outside is different than how we're navigating it. Because I think the ways in which we're navigating it is still through a lens of how can we build cipher? How can we build community with people? How can these be real, genuine relationships that people look at us not just as like artists, like y'all dope, y'all cool, yada yada, but also I see y'all messaging. I know what y'all trying to do, and I want to be an assistant in that. So rather than like, oh, you ain't got the numbers, or this doesn't look like this, I see what y'all are doing. I see what y'all have built, and now I want to be an assistant to what that growth could look like as we start moving forward.
Yeah. And I'll just say, it's relationships, or what she's saying is like the industry is one thing, and it can look like a big beast if you look at it like that. But I think us navigating through our sisters, the other Black women that we know, and men who support what we do, we have a larger collective.
it's just a lot of like homegrown love and support. And I don't know what all levels of the industry looks and feels like. You know, we all hear stories and stuff, but I know that it's taken us a while, and it's probably for a good reason. It's probably so that we can be as solid in our foundation as possible when we step into that new territory. Because I feel like we're going to change it and impact it just like other artists are. You know, we see what Doshi's doing, we see what Kendrick is doing, and so many before them, what they have done. So I just feel like, you know, it's probably different for everybody, but we are navigating it carefully and with God.
For sure. Yes.
Can I follow up on this question?
Yes.
For sure.
Curtis King, you know, you're aware of his podcast on YouTube?
Curtis King. Yeah.
So he does this thing called, he has this do-it-yourself movement going on.
Oh yeah, he does everything.
And right now he's advocating direct to consumer.
Yeah.
And other people are advocating direct to consumer. So from your perspective, right? Are you using the direct to consumer model? And then the back up to that, or the follow up to that is, how do you think the direct to consumer model is that applicable to his question about changing the narrative when it comes to the hip hop industry?
I'd say definitely. I feel like the majority of the fans that we have culminated over the years has been through direct to consumer. Whether we right in front of you performing, whether we are at a pop-up and we got merch to sell or music and things like that, we've seen how that affects a listener and a supporter in a different way than you kind of just hearing it and like, oh, I like this, I'll save it, I'll do this, I'll do that. It's really building, again, that relationship, that connection, that community. Because when you think about DIY, when you really want to succeed and move forward at your own rate and kind of do it outside of the industry, it becomes a need to have to build your own community. And I think, especially now in the state that we are in, it's literally what we're on the back end trying to make sure we're galvanizing all of the people that we've kind of connected with over the years and making sure that they know, hey, it's still one-to-one. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much we are trying to dismiss the people that have already been rocking with us, but we know, let's build this community strong so people can feel like I'm a part of something. Because I think that's the main thing. If you don't feel like you're a part of the journey, a part of the progression with an artist, it can be somebody else that you're listening to, and then you can move on. But when you can see, like, man, I remember when they was in front of 12 people doing a show, and they you know what I'm saying, they were in those cyphers. You know what I'm saying? Like in these different small areas, and now you can see them grow over time. It becomes less of a need for an industry, because now you just created your own infrastructure, and what somebody else can offer you now is more of a partnership than something that I need in order for us to grow.
Yeah. Now, you know, we still studying the Nipseys of the game, just to, you know, understand ways that we can leverage our work more. And I know a lot of people are using Even Biz right now. We haven't used Even Biz yet because we're currently on an independent label based in Chicago. But we'll see what next year has in store for us after we release our album. I think that we have a lot to think about in terms of how we push our music and market it, and how we get money. Okay. Any other questions?
Forgive me if I missed it in the slide, but when you contact schools and present your program, do you have a target audience in mind as far as a target group? And then also, is this over a certain period of time, like for 6 weeks, like you're following a strict regimen or manual of what you're going to be teaching, or can you speak on that?
Super flexible. Just because any offering that we have had, we've wanted to make sure that we, you know, really hit the nail on the head in terms of like what the students need from us and what the school needs from us. So we're always like, we have like our workshop template, which there are things that will never change. The cipher will never change. Our mic checks won't change. Our class playlist. There are certain things that are ritual for us, but we're always like shaping our workshop to what the kids really need. So sometimes we step in a space and the kids need to create, you know, they just need to create. And so sometimes we'll start there. Sometimes in some of them videos, we had classes full of all white kids. So that was a whole nother like.
Actually, the source of my question, but you know.
Yeah.
Because usually I would hear something in a setting or in a street.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
No,
You
they
saw that.
ate it up.
Was that a one-day thing, or was that like an after
That
school? You know,
was,
that's some-
was it a couple days that we did? I think we did a couple days.
I think it was,
with them.
yeah, I think it was 2
Yeah.
days that we did with them. And like that was one of those kind of one-off things where we met somebody at another educator at a conference like this. We built from there, and then he brought us out to his school. And again, all white students, but I almost felt like what we were doing and saying was just as impactful. It's like, we need y'all to know this before y'all step out in this classroom talking or saying anything and y'all don't know about hip hop culture at its core. So I felt like, man, it was so important for us to be in those spaces too. But it can look so many different ways. Like you said, right now we're doing a year-long residency. I think this is the longest that we've been with the same group of students, and it's kind of bittersweet because they about to go to high school, and it's like, man, we're preparing them in ways that I don't think any other teachers have, but at the same time, we don't get to like follow them.
How, so is that a one day a week, and you did with the 5 days, 2 days?
2 days a week, 4 different classes, back to back. And then
And what's the end outcome
Huh?
of that? What's the outcome of that? What are you like working towards for the whole year?
So right now we are working on a mixtape with our students, which we will do the whole like release, posting music and all that stuff. We're working on cover art with the students who are more interested in like visual arts and graphic arts. Working on some video documentary footage stuff. So we have the kids doing like, pick an element, figure out what you like to do within that, and then we slowly like, obviously teach them the skills that they need to have, but we kind of allow them to find their place and find what they like. But this looks totally different from a residency we might have done last year, the year before that. Sometimes we're there for a week. Sometimes we'll be there we've done 6-week online virtual. We did during COVID. A lot of people didn't know how to do like classes online. You know, they were struggling to work with kids who got their screens off, don't want to say nothing. How do we keep them engaged? So that's something that we had to adapt to. We did an 8-week program with students in LA, all online. It was beautiful, but that was totally different. We had to like really step into it and plan it properly. And we got to stay on our toes because kids will come in and really like move your whole stuff around, and you're like, all right, what's going to be most effective today, right now? What do y'all need? So I think it's just addressing needs looks different at every school, but we are really, really flexible. Like I said, we have a template, but if we're working with all girls, it's going to be different from if we're working with girls and boys. If we, you know.
Appreciate that question. Low key, I would say, personally speaking, that it's still a process. I feel like in regards to who we are as Mother Nature, in regards to the sound, what we want to push. I think the messaging has always been there. I think individually we've always spoke from a very personal place, a very real place. And even the music that we like, it comes from artists that are not afraid to deep dive into emotion, circumstance, issues, situations, and things like that, but also how are we overcoming? We not just want to be in our struggle rap phase. We want to figure out how can we come from this kind of dark, low place and see the lesson in it and the challenge as something that is going to kind of catapult us to that next level. So when it comes to us figuring out who we want to be or how we want to be in the grand scope of music, I think it's just amazing artists that were not afraid.
Yeah.
We were limitless. We pushed boundaries. You know, resilient. And also defiant. Like I think that depending on the album or the project that you found us at, we have very like protest music. We have very much melodic, vibey. You know, it depends on where you find us. But I think that throughout it, the thread has always been realism. It's always been about futurism, has always been about expanding and expounding on what is, and kind of figuring out and imagining what could a space look like if these thoughts that we've held and let become a burden on us, we let go and just completely be free in who we are and spread that to as many people as we can.
We have time for one more question if anybody has one. Yes.
Following up on this question, for each of y'all, who are your top 3 female MCs?
Top 3?
Of all time? That's a different question.
Well, your top 3, the ones that come off your tongue right now.
Bahamadia, Lauren Hill, and Mother Nature.
Lauren is a given. Lauren is a given. Missy, MC Light. That's 3.
I was just listening to Bahamadia this morning, and I was just remembering how much I love her and her vibration. And I think, again, just bringing things back to the sonics and bringing things back to the rhythm, like, when I listen to Bahamadia, it has the same impact that when I listen to Jay Dilla. It's just healing. It just feels good. Like, I don't gotta rap along to it, or I can, but it's something about her voice and the frequency of the sound that is extremely healing. And kind of just piggybacking off the question, I think that who we are in the industry, who we are in community, whatever, who we are as MCs, we definitely on that healing vibration. And not everybody on that, not everybody. I think a lot of the women are, but a lot of them not. So, who we are and who we continue to want to be is like, we want to heal, and we want to help others heal, and we know that hip hop gives us the power to do so. That's for me.
All right. Good on time.
Thank y'all so much. We are performing tonight, so hope to see you all there. Please come chop it up with us. We also are trying to get to another workshop as well, but if y'all have a moment, fill one of these out. The question is, how do you create heaven on earth? We just want your name, your socials, and what skills you offer your community. That way other people here can see it as well if you haven't already connected with them. So thank y'all. We love y'all. We also got hats over here if y'all want any. No pressure though. No pressure.
Real fast, y'all. So
Yes.
Just in a slight change, Ajanae's workshop. Ajanae's in the back. Instead of going to the CEC, we're going to have it right here. So if you want to stay for Ajanae's workshop, we're going to have it in the same place. Ajanae will be doing a closing panel along with Mother Nature. There is a session at the CEC as well, so check your schedules. The session that says at the CEC is actually happening there, and Ajanae's is happening here. We'll take 10 minutes before we switch workshops. And I do have one other book about the law really fast. So I'm going to ask a question and y'all can answer it.
While he's looking that up, we do have a QR up there if you guys want to stay connected, and if that's just easier. We also have business cards, whatever's easier for you guys.
This is like for us.
It's just an active